Lady Cornelia, what's happened to you?
I was too careless. I can hardly remember the last time I was this badly hurt. As for the capital, Viscount Mateus, we failed, and I doubt the king will soon forget our attempt to seize it.
What? But how?
Viscount, your son, the one who married a distant relative of House Gautier. They'll have his head. Same goes for the kin of all the other Western lords.
No.
This king is a fool, to be sure, but he's not foolish enough or kind enough to forgive those who serve his betrayers. I guarantee you that. His army will begin their march to subdue Western Fargus any moment now. If you don't want your territory stolen from you or your life, then your only choice is to rise in revolt.
Yes. Yes, I understand. We will mobilize at once.
No. My uncle?
I'm afraid so. Among the rebels are houses Mateus and Gideon, and all the other Western lords from whom I've stripped power. They appear to have appointed Baron Dominic as their leader.
I'm so sorry, Annie. What could he be thinking?
House Dominic may be a mere barony at present, but they're a storied family whose lineage traces all the way back to the 10 elites. Centuries ago, when the wise King Klaus passed beyond the Veil of Death, he did so without naming a successor to the crown. And so, the three regions of the Holy Kingdom, Fargus, Mach, and Leicester, were divided among the three royal princes. House Dominic chose to side with the prince ruling Mach, who was eventually defeated by the forces of Fargus, leaving the once vast Dominic territory to be whittled down, meted out to the neighboring lords.
I know they held a grudge about that in the past, but surely it's ancient history at this point. Tons of people from House Dominic, my father included, have devoted their lives to serving the royal family. It makes me wonder if my uncle's heart is really in this fight.
As they stand now, House Dominic lacks the influence and might necessary to defy their surrounding lords. So when pushed to join the uprising, they would have had little choice but to go along. But that lack of strength might just be the key to our victory.
How do you mean, Gustav?
If we could only convince my brother to change sides, the Western territories would lose their leader. And if we were to follow that up with a decisive victory against a demoralized army, it would likely cause their military effort to collapse entirely.
Perhaps. But it'll be difficult to pry the Baron away without first eliminating those surrounding him.
Indeed. If nothing else, we'll need to turn the tide of war in our favor if we ever hope to empower the Baron to defect. For now, we must consider how best to break through their front.
I see. Then the regicide of our late King Lambert was orchestrated by none other than you and your accomplices here, Viscount Mateus. What's more, you had the audacity to pin the blame for your crime onto the innocent people of Dusker.
We did what we believed to be right, and we still believe it so. I bear neither shame nor regret for our actions.
Our hand was forced, Baron. We took no pleasure in the deed. But we could not lie down and allow Lambert to trample over us with his tyrannical policies.
His beloved Eastern lords may have submitted with naught but a whimper, knowing full well that they would always have the favor of the king. But we in the West refuse to play his game. It's as simple as that.
I understand the situation you found yourself in, but I fail to see the righteousness or necessity in the measures you chose. Of course, aspects of Lambert's reign troubled me as well. Yet one can never predict what may lie on the other side of a violent, radical revolution. With that understanding in mind, I decided to obey the late king's wishes. If you took issue with his policy, you should have made a formal protest. Surely a dialogue is a more preferable outcome to cold-blooded murder.
Any protest we made would never have drowned out the chorus of his blind devotees.
Wrong. His Majesty would have listened had you only explained your troubles. I'm sure of it. Instead, you cast aside your duties as his retainers, crawled into a fetid bed with the Empire, and ended his life like the base cowards you are. Well, the time has come to face judgment for your sins.
My. Do you really think yourself so different from them, dear Baron?
Cornelia, you scheming wretch.
Judgment for your sins? Do you think this is one of that decrepit church's tired old parables? Sorry, but you're part of this now, trapped here like the rest of us. So be a good little boy, and do your part in sowing chaos in Fargus and the rest of Fodlan while you're at it.
Our time has finally come! I won't give in!
I'm alive! Which means I can finally go home.
Gustav, Annette, the success of this plan lies on your shoulders.
We've got this, Your Majesty. I swear, we'll make my uncle see the light.
You sure about this, Dmitri? I probably shouldn't be saying this in front of the Baron's relatives, but the Western Lords could end up convincing Baron Dominic to lead them once more. Killing him now could spare us a storm of grief later.
It would be quicker, I'll admit that. But convincing him to join our cause will pay dividends later on. I'm sure of it.
Not to mention that the Baron's eldest son possesses a crest of his own. Even if the father falls, what's to stop the other lords from promoting his heir as their standard bearer?
That's exactly why I'd rather this end with Baron Dominic as an ally, not a corpse. But first, we'll need to whittle down the armies of the other Western Lords. Only then can we seek an opportunity to reach him.
Dmitri, we should get moving.
Right you are. Our numbers in this battle will be few. Much of our army is off defending Aryan Road from the Empire. In other words, this fight shall not be an easy one. But we cannot afford to fail. And I will need all of your help to ensure we do not.
I wonder what the Dmitri of a few months ago would say if he could hear you now. For what it's worth, I like this version of you better. You seem more at ease.
At ease, hmm? Yes. Perhaps I am.
Viscount Mateus, Viscount Elidor, they sure aren't holding anyone back. Where's my uncle in all of this?
As we discussed, we will focus our efforts on persuading the Baron to join our cause, and chip away at the others en route.
March together. I will make my brother see reason if it is the last thing I do.
With all the progress we've made, the Western Lords are probably feeling the heat pretty hard. I bet he'll be receptive.
Take a breather.
Such foolishness! Now, show them the price of their folly.
There are likely more awaiting us elsewhere as well. Stay vigilant.
Stay out of my way! Nobody's stopping me from reaching my uncle!
This is it!
Baron lies dead ahead. Onward!
We did it!
is to convince my uncle.
I must speak with you, my brother. Please.
Gustav, how did you break through?
So you mean to sway our precious Baron Dominic to your cause? Well, I won't allow it.
There are so many of them. We can't let them reach my father.
Surely you see the Western Lords have no hope of winning this fight, my brother. But together, we can put an end to that seductress.
Yet if I join you and we should fail, what becomes of us then? What becomes of us?
Align itself with the royal family. This feeble rebellion will fall to its knees.
My name carries weight, yes, but I lack the might to back it up. Do not expect such things from me, Gustav.
Apologies. Lambert died by Cornelia's hand. And she is who you choose to side with?
The decision was not one I took lightly. But I have a responsibility to keep my people safe.
You are too kind.
Yeah, right. However, my heart lies not in this fight. If you can promise victory, then I will join you.
Thank you, my brother. You will not regret this decision.
With my uncle on our side, we've got nothing to be afraid of.
So this is the sting of betrayal, Allow me to put you in your place. Oh, my dear Titanus, hunt these beasts down.
This was our only option, Your Majesty. The Western Lords would be cut.
No words can spare you now. You may plead your case to my father, beyond the veil of death.
Cornelia said we would win this handily.
If they're working with Cornelia, then were the Western Lords involved in the tragedy?
Out of the way!
Come on!
Witch. She had that in her back pocket this whole time?
Our knowledge runs far deeper than you barbarians could ever hope to understand.
That's the last of the reinforcements. Things should be a little calmer now.
It's not over.
How dare you? Let's see how you like a taste of the Viscum's power.
What is this?
This may not halt the attacks. Will at least lessen their impact. There are the controls. We should capture the stronghold first, though.
All right, time to shut this thing down.
Yeah, all right.
Hear me well! Lower this drawbridge at once!
Is that Baron Dominic? Yes, my lord, right away!
Thank you, Uncle. Just a little bit further now.
So, come.
On my life, you shall not break through!
We don't have time for this! What's your call for?
Forgive the delay, Warrior King of Vargas. Allow us to join the fray.
Take a breather, Oscar. Take the lead.
Just watch.
Tricks. What do we do now?
Calm yourself, Ro. We still have plenty of cards up our sleeve.
More of those weapons. We'll never reach that witch now.
Let us help you. We'll shut those things down.
Calling for reinforcements, are you? How rude. I suppose it's time for the Western Knights to make their appearance.
These weapons continue to amaze me, no matter how many times we fight them. They're like nothing I've ever seen before.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Show them how firm our defenses can hold.
That's one down. Let's get a move on to the next one. Let's start the attack.
Let's take it for ourselves!
Where did Cornelia get these weapons anyway?
We fought off the enemy reinforcements, but we must stay vigilant. Those guarding the weapons cannot be defeated.
That's that then. On to Cornelia.
Clever little vermin, aren't they? I'll need some time to reactivate the Viscum. I trust you know what to do, Count.
Yes, of course. I suppose that means I'll be going out there.
I've awaited this moment.
Send help to the Dusker soldiers. They need assistance controlling those strongholds.
5 times, she says. But how does she expect me to do so? I'm no fighter. We will be counted on you. She's right.
Majesty. Count Ro. You never do shy away from treason.
Aren't you Lenato's son? He served under me, you know. Perhaps you could take his place.
Sorry, but I'm a knight of the royal family now. And you deserve everything that's coming to you for betraying us.
I don't understand. Where did I go wrong?
Enough of this, Cornelia. None remain who can shield you from our vengeance.
I'd hoped to keep my hands clean, but it seems there's nothing for it. Entertain me, boy. So good at giving chase, I must admit.
It's only us, her now. But keep your heads on straight. And watch out for those weapons.
So it is you. Nowhere left to run, huh? My turn?
If it isn't the strain, back to yap at my heels all over again.
This is where you run. Yeah, you like that?
Man of Dusker, I should have exterminated you when I had the chance.
Even were His Majesty to forgive the atrocities you committed, I never will.
I will ask you again, why did you slaughter them? You don't want to bring death yourself. I suggest you speak true.
So it's a motive you seek, Because I felt it. What's this? Has the disgraced knight come to lecture me about loyalty?
Out of the way! I got you now!
Say what you will, witch. I will atone for my transgressions when I claim your head.
I of soldiers already. I told Tallis I needed more than this.
You won't stop!
Not much further. Everyone, together!
I lose? Curse this feeble flesh!
Seize the witch. It's time she told us the truth.
What a horrible way to treat a saint.
Your mages have met their end, Cornelia. And soon, so will you. You cannot warp yourself out of this. Now let me ask you again. What became of my stepmother? Does she yet live?
No, long dead, I'm afraid. She killed the husband who kept her from the sweet little daughter she loved so dearly, only to lose her own life at that same daughter's hand.
You can't mean...
Didn't I already tell you? Your stepsister has the answers. So this body has reached its end. How pitifully frail you all are.
If I seek the truth, I'll have to retrieve it from the Emperor herself. Cornelia said as much before her spirit left this realm. Only a fool would take that temptress at her word. But I do believe there is truth to her claim. Edelgard knows something. The Empire was surely involved in my father's death. And perhaps she was as well.
Hold on, Boar. You owe us all an explanation here. The Emperor is your stepsister?
My apologies. I suppose I never mentioned it.
So if I've got this straight, after you were born, your dad got remarried to her mom?
Correct. Though the truth of my stepmother's background was never revealed to the public, as you can imagine. Of course, all that is in the past now. There is no reason to keep hiding it from my closest allies.
Your Majesty, if I may, I can handle the explanation.
That will no doubt prove faster. You knew my father many years longer than I did.
It all started 20 years ago, when a dreadful plague ravaged Ferdiad. King Lambert's wife was among those claimed by its spread. In hopes of bringing an end to the epidemic, the king sought experts from across the land, scholars, doctors, mages. Among those, it was an imperial scholar by the name of Cornelia who finally turned the page on our suffering and put an end to the pestilence.
Oh yes, I've heard about that. She helped develop many of the districts in the capital as well, didn't she?
It's a little weird to think she's the one who planned out the places we all lived.
They even used to call her a saint. What could have happened to her to make her so... different?
Interestingly enough, she never asked for any kind of reward for her feat. Well, at first. In lieu of any compensation, monetary or otherwise, she requested that we rescue one of her old friends from the Empire. Which is the story of how the late king came to meet his future wife, Lady Patricia. Or should I say, Lady Anselma.
I don't get it. Why would she need saving?
I'm not sure of all the details myself, but I know she was banished from the court after becoming involved in some sort of political dispute. Lambert always did have a soft spot for those in need. And of course, in the thick of all that, the two developed feelings for each other. It's difficult to say for sure if it was love, but it was something. Anyway, that's all I have.
Looking back on the events now, it's hard to know just how much of it was part of Cornelia's plot. In any case, I must learn more about my stepmother's death. I have no doubt it connects in some manner to the truth about the tragedy. Who was Cornelia working for? And what was Edelgard's role in all of it? If I truly want to know, well, there's only one person I can turn to.
You want to get answers from the Emperor of the very region we're at war with? Is that even possible? I mean, Edelgard is our enemy. She and her like have stamped the life out of so many of our allies. And we've done the same to hers. I don't see how the two sides could just sit down for a chat after all that.
Perhaps not. Make no mistake, she is still our bitter enemy. But I've no other choice. We've extracted all the information we could from the Western Lords. And as Cornelia has departed this world, the Emperor is the only one left we can turn to. Gustav, I'll be leaving reconstruction of the West to you and the Baron.
Understood, Your Majesty. Do you mean to make for Aryan Road?
Indeed I do. Even the most impregnable fortress in all Fodlan cannot hold off an onslaught forever. I know not how or when Edelgard will make her presence known, but we must hold the Silver Maiden, by any means necessary.